what is periodization, right? All of us have heard of periodization, but what actually is it, okay? Well, let me just talk about something that's the complete opposite first so you can understand this. Say I walk into the gym and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do today, right? That's not periodization, okay? What that's called is the instinctive principle of training. As you become advanced, that could be a tool for you, but instinctive variable training is like, what do I feel like doing today? I'm just going to do it, and whatever the workout is, it is, okay? Periodization, there's a couple different things that are involved in it, okay? We talk about variation, okay? Variation is change, right? One thing we know about training is there's a law called the biological law of accommodation, which basically means that any biological entity, humans included, if it is exposed to a constant stimulus, will stop adapting. That's accommodation, okay? So if I go to the weight room and do the same thing every single time, if I walk in the room, do bench press every single time, I will stop adapting to that, okay? So the first part about periodization to counter that is variation. That's number one. Number two is rest. I don't wake up in the morning and go, man, I don't feel like training today. You know what I mean? It's rest that is programmed into your training, okay? So the key is variation and rest, but here's the thing, guys. It is planned or programmed rest and variation, okay? Think about this for a second. If you have a pitcher in a baseball game, okay? They have a certain sequence of pitches they're going to throw, and the first one might be to set up their opponent, okay? They might set them up with a fastball, and then they might throw a changeup, okay? Same thing with bodybuilding and periodization. You're trying to set your body up with a certain training principle, and then you're going to switch it up with a curveball or a changeup. Okay, so, and then you're going to anticipate when you need rest, okay? You're not going to all of a sudden go, I'm overtrained, darn it, I really need to rest. Or, damn it, I'm feeling real sick, probably should rest, okay? So there's an element of planning involved in it. Now periodization traditionally is broken up into different stages, right? You can vary training on a day. You can vary training within a set. You can vary training within the exercise itself. So we say that you can vary things from the workout, from the training day, from the week. And when we say week, we call it a microcycle, okay? And then essentially we have 1 to 3 months, which we call a mesocycle. And then we have a training thing where you have a given focus, which could last from anywhere from 3 months to 6 months to a year, which we call a macrocycle, okay? So again, let's start from the macrocycle. Let's say that your goal is to bulk. I'm trying to put on a lot of mass. We call that a mass macrocycle, okay? So then basically your training weeks, you're going to be changing things up, but then you're going to have, in essence, 1 to 3 months, which is going to be a mesocycle, where you're focusing on one component of gaining mass, okay? But the whole time, but then the goal is, I want to put on 10 pounds in this next 6 months, or I want to put on 15 pounds in the next 6 months. So then finally, we have a rest period, which we call a taper. So again, let's go ahead and sum this up. Periodization is planned or programmed rest and variation. It's not just, hey, I'm just going to change it up. And that breaks down from the training day to the training week, which we call a what? A microcycle, to 1 to 3 months, which we call a what? We call that a mesocycle. And then we have a macrocycle, which is the entire goal. There's different goals that we can have. Our goal could be size. Our goal could be getting shredded, which would be call a shredding macrocycle, a cutting macrocycle, or we could have a time where we're trying to just rest, okay, which we call a recovery cycle. So thank you so much, guys. Next time we'll talk about, well, how do I apply this? See you next time.